So now we have Team DeSantis getting into the Bud Light and Dylan Mulvaney mix. Ron DeSantis' team drags Bud Light mocks transgender athletes with new ad. This was over at Outkick.com. Ron DeSantis' team took aim at Bud Light and transgender athletes in women's sports with the new ad. The Florida governor recently made it clear that he thinks swimmer Leah Thomas competing against biological women is a complete joke and fraud. And Team DeSantis has now railed against Bud Light and transgender women dominating biological women. The video released by Team DeSantis shows biological men absolutely destroying and decimating female competitors, and it's set to the class Real Men of Genius template from Bud Light back in the day. Team DeSantis presents Real Men of Women's Sports. Today we recognize the men who hacked the system. Once mediocre in the men's division, now cream of the crop in the women's. You couldn't cut it with the boys, so you pushed women off the podium. The voiceover states it sounds exactly like the old Bud Light ads. Leah Thomas, MMA fighter Alana McLaughlin, and other transgender women are prominently featured in the ad. In Florida, girls play girls sports and boys play boys sports. That's why we are replacing Bud Light with Freedom Heavy, made 100% woke free. Thus, I gotta see. Well, in fact,
Team DeSantis presents. Team DeSantis presents.
In fact, I'm gonna play the ad for you right now.
Team DeSantis presents.
Real Man of Women's Sports.
Today we recognize the men who've hacked the system.
Hack the system.
Once mediocre in the men's division, now cream of the crop in the women's.
From mediocre to champion.
You couldn't cut it with the boys, so you pushed women off the podium.
Real Man still first place.
Because without you, sports would be fair. Without you, women's sports would be for, well, women.
Now I've got to say, that is probably one of the best parody ads I have seen. And they're absolutely right. What is going on in this country right now when it comes to women's sports? It's mind-blowing, mind-boggling, whatever you want to call it. And I have said this myself privately, now I'm going to say it for the first time publicly. If you're a man and you can't cut it in men's sports, and you got to go and say, I'm a woman now, and to compete against the women, you're a coward. You're a piece of crap. You're not even transgender. You've hopped on the transgender bandwagon. This ad from Team DeSantis managed to kill two birds with one stone. In one single video, it crushed Bud Light and biological male ruining women's sports. The popular beer brand has been facing intense scrutiny ever since teaming up with Dylan Mulvaney. The transgender athletes are still a major issue. Riley Gaines, a former Kentucky swimmer, faced an enraged mob that turned violent while speaking at San Francisco State University, and I covered that in another video. You can't even speak out in support of women's rights without people attempting to harm you. Meanwhile, Yale can invite a raging anti-Semite during Passover, and it mostly gets unnoticed. Now, I'm not a super huge Ron DeSantis fan from a national standpoint as far as running for president. I think as governor, he's done a great job. But I do think, like Trump, who Trump has some issues, and his issues are more ego-driven, egocentric, that he won't say he made a mistake with the you know what, and he won't say he made a mistake shutting everything down when he did. Ron DeSantis wants to erase his past during the time of lockdowns, saying that Florida was wide open the whole time. Well, Florida wasn't wide open the whole time. Florida was actually locked down for a short period of time because he bought into the fear and what was going on at the time. But I will say this for DeSantis in this issue, he's absolutely 100% correct. DeSantis has been crystal clear where he stands on transgender athletes or transgender athletes. He thinks it's absurd biological men can come in and crush women. It is wrong to have a swimmer compete for 3 years on a men's swim team, switch to the women's team, and then win women's national championship. That is fraud. That is wrong. That's about as clear as it gets. And his thoughts on Bud Light also aren't a mystery. Why would you want to drink Bud Light? I mean, like, honestly, that's like them rubbing it in our faces. And it's like these companies that do this, if they never have any response, they're just going to keep doing it. And he's right. The issues with transgenderism, whatever, they're not going anywhere anytime soon. But the more that you shine the light on it, the more that you mock them, the more that you satirize them, the more that you meme them, people will wake up and see what's going on. And people like myself are getting sick and tired of all this woke nonsense. So I just wanted to put this out here. I've been doing a lot of Bud Light videos here lately with Dylan Mulvaney, and thought it was interesting that now, I'm not surprised Governor DeSantis has dipped his toe into the Bud Light mess. So comment down below. Give me your opinion. Tell me what you think. I'd love to hear what people have to say on both sides, for it and against it. So smash that like button, subscribe, share, comment, hit the notification bell to get notified when I post videos throughout the day. And I thank you for tuning in. Thank you for watching. And we will see you on the next video.